Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday to you. Here on the Gold Coast, it is a public holiday, so and it's just become quite overcast, so it's not a real good day. It's a public holiday because it's the show Eka, which is not happening, but they're putting on other little events around the place, so it should be a lovely weekend. I am working, putting up this live because I have a special person over in America who keeps on reminding me to put it up. And I know, like a lot of small business owners like myself, it's a real challenge to do these Facebook Lives. It really is a challenge. And when you've got somebody who's sort of going, oh, are you going to put up a live? It really does make a difference, and it really does help you to, I don't know, break through those fears and start to sort of connect with people again. And you know, in this time and era, it's a little bit challenging. But today I want to talk to you about tools to connect with your intuition. Now there's different levels of connecting with your intuition. I'm going to sit on my foot, sorry. There's different levels of connecting with your intuition. So we can connect, we can develop, and we can trust. Now there's tools for the different ways we do this. What I want to put forward today is a tool, one of the tools that I used, and you can create it yourself at home. It's not hard to do, but it allows you to start to connect with your intuition and what your intuition is, how it is connecting with you. Now, as I've talked about before, intuition is your spiritual body and your physical body communicating. So that's what it is. It's a communication. So it's what your spirit is trying to get your intuition, your physical body to do or to respond to. So it communicates in order to achieve an action of some sort. So today it's about connecting with your intuition. Now there's a few tools that you can use, dowsing, pendulums. There's a few tools you can use for connecting. Developing, you'll go more into starting to understand what the messages are. So connecting is about just understanding that you are getting messages. Developing is about increasing those messages. So, and then trusting is, of course, trusting them. So what I want to go through today is a particular tool that I used to start with, because it was simple, it was easy. So this is my very, very first one. And it's called Pendulum. So it's about pendulum work, and this is how we learn to connect with our intuition. Now, of course, meditation and that aspect will help us increase it a lot quicker, but it's nice having that actual tool to work with. So this is my very, very first pendulum. Now, I made this myself. I got this old piece of chain. I had no money, so I had to do something, and I wanted to improve where I was going. I was in a very, very emotionally abusive relationship, and I needed to get an understanding of what my life was about. So I had heard about pendulum work. I didn't quite understand it, but I thought it's a way just to start understanding who I am and hopefully getting some answers that I was looking for. So I picked up this little this piece of crystal. So it's just a little clear quartz crystal. I wanted it with the point at the bottom, and I bought that because it was a couple of bucks. You know, it was sort of really nothing. It resonated with me, and I purchased that. And then I had this chain, an old chain that I used. Now the other thing people use is they'll put a wedding ring or something at the bottom of it too. But it's more about getting just a bit of chain that's weighted. I again used the crystal because I just liked the clear quartz crystal, and I purchased one of, no, hang on, can you see that all right? I purchased one of those. These are the little things that you can pick up from like craft shops, and they're in the jewelry section. So I glued that onto there, and as you can see, it's no longer glues, no longer works. So, but for a long, long time, that was how I started with my pendulum work. So it's just a chain that you have. A chain's good because it flows nicely. Chain and some sort of weight at the bottom of it. So it doesn't really matter what it is. It's more about, you know, the action of doing it. Now I'm going to get you my next one. I make little bags for them too because I'm just a bit nerdy. So this was my other one, and as you can see, even this one, it's just discolored and everything else. So hang on, let me get this up for you. So this was a proper one. So you've got the pendulum, the weight at this end, and then it's just got a little holding thing. So, and you hold it over your fingers like that, all right? I don't know if you can see that. So that was my next one, the one I've been always using. So this was the other one I did my pendulum work with. So as you can see, this is more balanced, a little bit more flash than my very first one. And I could, because it's a little bit heavier, a bit more weighted in that aspect, you could get a really good swing. Now, let me tell you what pendulum work is. It's basically, when you look it up, you Google it or anything like that, it is us doing it. We are making that pendulum swing. There's no if, buts or maybe. We are doing it. However, we're not doing it intentionally. So what they say is that we're doing it subconsciously. Now, when people start talking about subconscious, I go straight away into, well, that's your intuition, because we can put it as a subconscious, and we can put it as different names. But as far as I'm concerned, that's your spirit talking to your physical body, saying, this is where I want it to go. This is how I want it to do. It's your intuition or your spirit being able to manipulate just slightly, and this is why it's connecting with those micro muscles that allow it to swing in a certain direction. So we've got your pendulum. Now, when you want to start to connect with your intuition, what you need to do is you need to define your swing. And usually in a clock way, it's yes, and in an anti-clock way, it's no. And sometimes it will swing just backwards and forwards, depending if you've got it over anything. So when you're first starting to connect with your intuition, you need to actually physically do that. Define yes, and you actually do that. You make it go that way, so that definition starts to sit in that muscle, and it starts to connect with that physical and the spiritual aspect. It actually starts to connect it. It makes it flow better, makes it work. So you say define yes, and you say define no. So you've got those two things happening. When you're doing that, then I remember, because I have to test all the theories. I'm a real theory tester. I remember saying, I'm wanting to hold it, and you rest your elbow and you hold it over like that, resting your elbow, and it will go one way or another. Now, I remember thinking, I don't want it to. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to let it work. I'm going to make it stop. And so I would ask a question, and I would go, no, it's not going to work. And it would start to work. So I would always be testing the theories. I'm not one to just believe in everything. I need to test it. I need to get an understanding. It needs to sit right with me. When you're asking questions with pendulums, the other thing you've got to be mindful of is the question you ask, because you can ask, it could have a yes or a no answer, or now how can I explain this? Will my business be successful? It could be yes, but it might not be successful while you own it. So these are being very particular on the question you ask is really important when you're doing pendulum work. But again, the pendulum work is all about connecting with your intuition, because your muscles and your spirit is learning to adjust those muscles just slightly to create some sort of action. The other way is dowsing. Now, I've had some dowsing rods. I looked for them, I couldn't find them. I've got dowsing rods too that you hold, and honestly, to try and hold them still and do the dowsing, it really is quite challenging. It's quite funny to watch. And as you start to connect with that, intuition starts to make that body move in particular ways, it will douse wherever you want to go and what you want to do. So same sort of principle. So they're little tools to help you connect with your intuition. The more you are doing meditation, and even if you can do 5 minutes a day just to build it up, and 10 minutes the next week or the next month, just that will help, because when you're doing your meditation, you actually can hear the messages, or you can see them in your vision, and the different ways that we receive those intuitive messages. But for a tool, when you want to really get some action, have a play with the pendulums. Look, it's not gospel, but it's fun. So have a little play with the pendulums, and it starts to give you a bit more understanding of where you want to go. When we talk about developing your intuition, we will look at the next layer of tools would be things like cards, when you're starting to read cards, because you're actually starting to connect deeper with your intuition. So you're really developing it more. So that's it for today. Real quickie. Just wanted to let you know. Now, the other aspect is Ouija boards too. And on yesterday's podcast, I have got Ouija boards, dowsing, and pendulums. What the connection is between them, and with the actual process, the actual work with the Ouija board is very similar to dowsing and pendulums. All right, so it still works with micro muscles. It still works with our intuition. There is another element to Ouija boards, which is all in the podcast. So you can see that on there, and that was released yesterday or published yesterday. So that's me for today. Have a great weekend, guys. A big shout out to Paul. Thank you again for keeping me on track. It is a bit of a challenge to do these lives every Friday. I'm not 100% comfortable with them. I'm doing it without my glasses, so I can't see how many people are looking. That's probably a better way of doing it. Yeah, my goal is to do it every Friday, but please don't hold me to that. I want you to have a great weekend. All the very best. My love to all those in Victoria, doing a bit tough at the moment, and to those in America too. I'm connecting with a lot of people in America, and it's really lovely. So all the best. Bless you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.